FuFu is rocking the Mega Armored Warboss. Will he perform like a Mega Armored Warboss? Look at the stare of this guy. Look at the stare of this guy. Wonder how much that weighs. Looks like a chode. I mean, he literally is wider right now than he is tall. Though I guess it's mostly because of the ridiculous oversized nature of his weapons and the fact that he's walking around like a gym bro. Or a wannabe gym bro. Trying to overextend his lat sizes. What is this skin? Is this like Exodites or something? What is this? I don't even recognize these weird ass Howling Banshees. Why do we have male Howling Banshees? Oh, do these things have tits? These things don't have tits, do they? These are men. Dude, I am so confused. I don't even think about Eldar. Fucking weirdos. Wait, this is a Harlequin skin? No, it's not, surely. I am so confused. Anyway, Dingus, Warp Spider Exarch on Greentooth Gorge. This is a really good map for teleporting heroes. The garrisons everywhere are going to be really nice. Yeah, that's a bit of a yikes situation for those Guardians, damn. Nearly getting Dakar down and retreat here. Honestly, if wow, didn't even need to chase them. I was going to say, honestly, if they chased, that would have been the end of it. Orcs, known for their damage, even without any upgrades here. The shooters doing crazy damage because they had a double war. So bad start for Dingus. We can say that much, that's for sure. They're attacking from range are the shooter boys over here against the Banshees, trying to get a bit of a gen bash going. Not really many gens placed by FuFu yet because, rather logically, he's going for his 4th squad ASAP. That's going to be some Storm Boys. Great synergy with the Warboss. And we're still in 2.9.9, so ranges are very strong. It'd be nice to have a jump squad to jump on said ranges and stop them bloody shooting. Looks like the Rangers have claimed the life of 2 shooter boys over here already. Might want to consider getting those shooter knobs up pretty soon. FuFu's going to need to drop some gens if he's wanting to do that. I assume he's floating. I'm assuming he doesn't want to get a 5th squad of boys. Maybe he does. That wouldn't be terrible. But I'm assuming he doesn't. So, what's he doing? Shooter knob. No gens. FuFu, please. Drip your gens, bruv. No gens for FuFu, and I think I heard filament alignment. Yeah, heavy gauge death spinner. Massive increase in his range DPS. I mean, you might think 34 piercing DPS, not very high. Well, it's not. It's only like the DPS of a K knob or a Tech Marine by default, but it's on a jumping hero, so that's very valuable. He only starts with 22 DPS or so in range, so to get 34 is pretty damn significant in terms of the percentage increase. And of course it gives you that stun ability, the heavy gauge filament, which will be very good against the Warboss. Actually, it's a wrong tooltip. Wow, this has been wrong for a very long time, I'm just realizing now. Damn. Gotta try and write that down. It doesn't do knockback anymore, it just stuns. Because of the annoying knockback bug. Look at the shooter knob here. Is this not a cool skin? I like the shooter knob. With his spikes. Don't know how common the orcs run around with spikes on themselves, mind you. That feels a little bit chaos. These Stormboys look cool too. I don't know why, but I'm really appreciating the random skins today. So here we go, we got double shooter boys with their shooter knobs, no big shooters. Clearly concerned about the bleed right now from rangers. You seen the filament go in there and stun the shooter knob on that other squad being hit by the Banshees? Just prevented any ability to kite, basically. What's the war boss got? Anything? Okay, yeah, he does have the custom shooter, hence why FuFu's actually got him in range stance there, trying to bleed, I guess. And Ranger's killing a Stormboy there. They're just going to retreat, want their full models. Want to push with the rest of the boys, I suppose. Slugger's just capping on the sideline here. Probably going to move on to the natural VP after. Double Shurikens, double Rangers for Dingus. So one problem here with Dingus's build is he's not got any guardians, so he has no repair support in tier 2. So he doesn't want to be relying on any vehicles in tier 2. It's quite funny actually. Both of the heroes here have stun mechanisms to stun one another. The heavy gauge filament and the enhanced custom shooter. Will the Banshees get the kill? No big shooters here, and that means they do. If they had big shooters on the shooter boys, they could have used aiming what's that? And that would have suppressed the Banshees and saved the war boss, but no big shooters for FuFu. FuFu looks like he might be floating. No, not quite. 15 power off. He would have had that if he built his gens a lot sooner. Honestly, I would be considering noding the contested power as well right now. Where are the Storm Boys? Okay, they're coming out of base. Yeah, the Shuriken doesn't like this positioning. A bit too close for comfort. Just needs to retreat. Yeah, he's going to go for the kinetic pulse, which will allow him to set up. Where the fuck are the Storm Boys? Oh my god, it feels like they're so far behind. So he gets a bit of bleed. Shooter Boys. Open up on the Rangers. Somebody should be able to jump in now. And you'll see... Oh, I was going to say, you'll see the Spider should be capping this node, which if it was... Well, this point, which if it was noded would not be happening. But unfortunately, Dingus doing a little bit of a micro error right now, not actually capping it. So Orc's going to push up this side of the map. Warbo's probably going to go to the mid and take the VP. What are the tier 2 choices going to be for both the players? Well, whatever it is, it's going to be a while yet for Dingus. Presumably he's going to be calling in some Warp Spiders. You can get them cheap at the cost of red if you're playing as the Warp Spider Exarch. So it makes a lot of sense, especially against Orc, a faction which can't really field any heavy infantry until tier 3. So Warp Spiders, being one of the squads with the highest pacing DPS in the game, very, very effective against Orcs. Honestly, probably Warp Spider's best matchup.
We have succeeded in our objective. Strategic location.
Side capping with shurikens, that's a new one. Absolutely crazy amount of requisition for Dingus, which is actually pretty nice for him because the tier 2 fight between Eldar and Orcs can become very atrocious in terms of wreck for both sides, so having a bit of a wreck stockpile could be valuable. Warp Spiders are kind of an obvious choice. After that, generally it's better to go for a Wraith Lord than a Falcon against the Orcs, just because the Falcon is super vulnerable to tank busters, especially truck busters. Tank busters in a war truck, because the Falcon is so much slower than a war truck. I believe war trucks are speed... They're somewhere between speed 8 and speed 9, and a Falcon is speed 6.75. A truck must be speed 8, right? Might be higher. So yeah, it can hunt down a Falcon easily. The Falcon's quite a big vehicle as well, so it's vulnerable to being hit by tank buster barrage. So that's why you often see the Wraith Lord, and then the Wraith Lord with the Bright Lance can deal with the relatively squishy Orc vehicles quite well. And he can also just melee down all the annoying, powerful tier 2 Orc melee units, like the Stormboy Knob and the Slugger Knob. Sluggers are currently inside the War Truck. I don't know if they've got burners, we'll see in a moment. Bit of shoot 'em good on the Shuriken there suppressing. Okay, he's got Shooter Boys as well. And yes, Slugger Boys are now fully upgraded, but are currently a triple cap against FuFu, so he needs to make this bash put in some value. And yeah, the Warbusters eventually get suppressed by the Shuriken. Easily get a full bash off. Actually, Dingus needs to be quite careful here with the Shuriken. This is looking quite worrying, having all these Orcs in retreat path. Could be the death of him. The garrison won't save him against burner sluggers either. Now over on this side we've got the Banshees having a tango with the Storm Boys. The Storm Boys unfortunately lacking their knob, which is going to hurt them quite a lot, and of course there was the fire support of the Watt Spiders and the Rangers, which is why he decided to commit to add boys and use your choppers onto the Storm Boys to win that fight, which he does, but he has to retreat nonetheless. So Shoot Boys finished off the node, can now go capture both of these points. Shuriken needs to retreat immediately, yeah, before the sluggers get out and chop them up. Pretty poor reaction there from FuFu, definitely could have had those sluggers in the retreat path. Which, combined with some force melee from the big, thick Chungus shooter knobs, could actually have killed Shuriken. It's going to be a Falcon. Falcon will be able to hunt down the Wartruck relatively easily. Obviously, it's faster than a Wraith Lord, and it can fire very effectively whilst moving. So we'll just have to see how effective it is. It has a good window whilst the tank busters aren't on the field, right? You've got to make use of that window as much as possible. Very sloppy from FuFu there, just losing those shooters to the Shuriken. Do we have big shooters? We do have big shooters now, so he's getting the upgrades. No other upgrades on the War Boss. Or Spider calling for cheap. I've got to admit, Dingus's composition right now is way better than FuFu's. It's not even close. Tank busters can get shredded by Rangers and Watt Spiders. Not to mention the actual Watt Spider Exarch himself. Nice amount of range DPS on him to bleed tank busters and the like. Falcon a little bit wary right now. That War Boss could of course be getting a Power Claw, so you don't want to just sit your Falcon in front of him and Gen Bash. That thing would do a lot of damage to the Falcon, but of course we know, observing, that the War Boss isn't getting that. Some boys finally get their knob. I feel like that's very late. Bit of a staggered jump. But even if they didn't get the staggered jump, they'd only get 1 or 2 hits in on the Falcon. It wouldn't really achieve a lot. Then it'd just drive away. Well, actually, now that I say that, actually 1 or 2 hits on the Falcon would be quite useful. Because remember, there's no Guardians. This is one of the problems with Dingus's build. Where's the Busters? Are they not in here? Oh, they are. Just very slow reaction here from FuFu to get them out. Ooh. Somebody's jumping right into a Shuriken, going to disrupt it with the Bomber Boys. Truck Busters need to hurry up and chase. Pretty poor reactions again from FuFu. He's a dithery old man. His reactions are just not great, but Wah plus Swamp'em makes these sluggers extremely fast, and they can hunt down one of those Rangers and kill him. Will the truck go into base? I mean, it can. It can. Get inside and reload. Move your truck over here and dump it out. Oh my god. They kill one another. I mean, that's worth it for FuFu for sure. Losing a tank buster squad to kill the Falcon. Definitely worth it. Well, Banshees arrive with aspect of strength, so they've got that Executioner Spear, which does heavy melee. Very close to killing the Wartruck. That's unlucky for Dingus. Poor fellow loses all 5 Banshees there. Where's the Watt Spiders? They could kill it with a haywire grenade. Looks like that's what they're going to do. If they don't have their... Do they have it? They don't have it, do they? There's no upgrade. Oh my god. Dingus. I think he forgot. He must have forgot there that you need the upgrade, the aspect, in order to get haywire access. Oh, that would have been a wiped Wartruck. Instead he lost 3 Watt Spider models, which is very expensive. Good job he had that stockpile of wreck, right? Oh my god, what is he doing? Try to melee down the truck? Dingus, for God's sake, mate, chill out. Just accept it, you didn't kill the truck. Don't throw away everything trying to with no realistic prospect. So he's trying to build a Webway Gate where he's probably going to put the Watt Spiders in to try and get a haywire, but unfortunately for him, FuFu's actually just repairing the truck. So it's not at the stage where 1 haywire will actually kill it anymore. Rangers contesting the map over there, Stormboys on this side.
One of our structures is under attack.
And a Wraith Lord for Dingus, whereas it's tier 3 for FuFu.
Support structure complete.
Typically, Eldar do stay tier 2 in this matchup.
We have succeeded in our objective. Enemy fire!
So I'm not overly concerned for Dingus. Shouldn't be taking engagements like this though. He does a lot of bleeding. What the hell is he doing right now? What was that? Bizarre. Bizarre play from Dingus. He didn't even have the aspect, but even if he did, this war truck is clearly far too high in HP. I guess Dingus is mentally just, I don't know, freaking out right now. He's not thinking straight at all. His plays don't make any sense. Now getting a Bright Lance Wraith Lord does make sense to me. That's going to be great against FuFu's composition. Of course, Dingus doesn't know that FuFu is tier 3, though he should expect it. Yeah, should be a wipe on the Rangers here with the Sluggers in retreat path. Less FuFu misclicks. That's it. That's a dead Ranger squad. So there go the OP Rangers. Now the amount of range DPS available to Dingus is a lot lower. Can he finally kill the war truck? He can. With a haywire, it's not too difficult. Didn't even need the Wraith Lord, to be honest. But the Bright Lance isn't a bad idea. It's obviously going to be useful against any looted tanks that come out. Right now, it's going to be Commandos instead, and they discover this waypoint gate right in front of the base. I didn't realise, though, FuFu is tremendously low on VPs right now. Which is why the Stormboys are going straight for that VP. But he's losing the VP in the mid to the Warp Spiders. He's lost his natural, which is being guarded by a Wraith Lord right now. Not really ideal. I really feel like the War Boss hasn't done anything all game as well. He just seems to have been run around capping on his own, which is really not how you should be using the War Boss. He needs to have him in the big blob fights.
Succeeded in our objective.
And right now, heavy armor and a power claw on that war boss could really show the Wraith Lord who's boss.
Oh, wish a more personal acquaintance with us.
Ooh, slays the Slugger Knob there. Seriously, the DPS coming out of these spiders is just disgusting. Dingus's micro on his spiders is not great though. But I suppose it doesn't matter when you can teleport away from the melee. More Commandos. And more Wraith Lords. Alright. I mean, the Commandos are pretty cool because they cap 50% faster, and right now FuFu seriously needs the capping power. 41 VPs is not a lot when you go take out 359 of the enemy. Not a lot at all. You needed to use the burner bomb in the gate there, but okay. Whatever. So you know, you can get a bit of AV on those commando squads as well via the squad leader, so that it's going to give him some utility against the Wraith Lords. And then now I'd like to see the Power Claw and Heavy Armor on the War Boss as well. Maybe even Angry Bits as well to give him that extra damage and HP regen when he charges. Then that War Boss can more or less 1v1 Wraith Lords. I don't think he actually would 1v1, but it'd be very close. Let's see the ambush from the Commandos here. Burner Bomb goes in, Love Dodaka. A lot of damage. One of them gets tied up in melee. A special attack could be brutal right now. Burner Bomb is very effective. Let's see if it runs out before it wipes the Shuriken. Shuriken just gets out in time. Commando's disengaging. Stormboy's going to be jumping onto the Warp Spider Exarch there. Shootboy's having a little bit of a shootout here with the Warp Spiders, and even though Warp Spiders do more damage, you'll notice the Shoot Boys have more HP. It's about the same. when the Watt Spiders have their Exarch, but the thing with Watt Spiders is they should always have the cover advantage, whereas right there they didn't. They were in the open and shooters weren't. You have no excuse to ever be like that when your squad can teleport. You know what I mean? Unacceptable. And that's why the stats on the Spiders are so weak, because basically every time they take a ranged fight they should have cover advantage to the enemy. And they should not be getting forced off by an isolated squad of injured shoot boys, that's for sure. But Dingus obviously was microing instead with his Wraith Lords. I'm not sure what the plan is now for FuFu, maybe a looted tank. It's like the Commandos opening up in the mid on this Wraith Lord. Yeah, double knobs on these now. Warboss gonna go take the natural VP. Yeah, gonna be a looted tank. Alright. It's not a bad choice. There's not really great counters to it, even if this thing becomes a Bright Lance. As long as you micro it correctly. Well, then again, there are Haywire Grenades. Haywire Grenades to snare it, and then the 2 Bright Lance Wraith Lords. Okay, there's only 1 Bright Lance Wraith Lord, but still. Snare it with Haywire and then send in 2 Wraith Lords to melee it. That could kill it. But it's not like it's the only piece of AV. They've got to also be worried about Commandos. Sluggers here lacking their knob is going to make this difficult in spite of the Uzi choppers. Oh god, they wipe. Oh dear. Oh dear, I think FuFu is in trouble. Gonna get the Watt Spider X out, but will he lose this Commando squad? Oh man, they get out with 1 HP. Well, not 1 HP, sorry, 1 model. Here comes a looted tank. Gonna go over here and force off the Banshees. Yeah, I mean, really the priorities for FuFu right now are those VPs. 23 VPs is not a lot to play with when your opponent's still over 300. Commandos here just fishing to force off the Shuriken. Fortunately, all these guys were super far back for some reason. Looted tank getting way too close right there, Jesus. Especially when one of those Wraith Lords has a Bright Lance. Not really ideal.
We have 300 points remaining.
I don't know, FuFu. Why are you not getting Warboss upgrades, guy? What are you doing? A Power Claw and Heavy Armor would be so good right now. Just use the shooters to side cap. Power Claw and Heavy Armor. Okay, he's not even capping right now. What is going on, FuFu?
No need for haste.
What?
Behold our foe.
Yeah, so just lead with your Heavy Armor, Power Claw, Warboss. Double Commandos behind it, and then the looted tank. Like, that should be perfect. Don't get it. Don't get it. The Wraith Lords would fall so fast to that. And then they've got something to think about when they're just charging into melee as well, if there's a Warboss running around, slapping them with that Power Claw. Let's see how much damage comes out here. Okay, he's not shooting with the Commandos. Just shoot the Wraith Lord. Come on. It's a forced melee on that Commando squad, I think. Commandos are pretty scary in melee, as you can see. Oh, is that crack shot on the Bright Lance? More range and more damage. Wow! The looted tank just annihilated them. But crack shot is crazy. You see the range there with it. Shuriken Wraith Lord here, so it can't do too much. Please turn around and use your rockets. Idling Warboss. Grots are in the field. They're becoming a repair crew. No, he's driving the tank into the Bright Lance. Oh, man. Every time, I swear. He sets up a beautiful rocks though with Love to Daka. What does that wipe? Is that was a Shuriken, not the Bright Lance. But the Bright Lance doesn't really matter anymore. The tank is now killed at this point. So actually wiping the Shuriken was even more effective in that instance. FuFu's going to be replacing the tank. I mean, he does have the repair crew to support it. Now the Grots are relatively useless without a vehicle on the field. They're not going to really achieve too much. But neither side able to cap the mid VP right now. Ranger's going for an attempt there, but obviously not going to be able to with the Commando squad. What is Dingus doing? I've just realised he's just bought late game Rangers and now he's getting more. What the fuck, Dingus? Look, man. I know they're OP, but come on.
As ever, we serve the craft world.
I don't know about buying late game
The foe seeks
Rangers.
to deprive us of a vital resource point.
To be fair, it's not like there's an amazing choice. Yeah, I'm not sure actually. Not Rangers. Maybe some Guardians. Get some repair support for your Wraith Lords. Or even go tier 3. You'll see here the Wraith Lord actually doing decent damage to the Shoot Boys in the garrison because of the splash damage. What are they doing? This Warboss, by the way, has been AFK in this crater for ages. I don't know what's going on. Maybe he's having to take a giant dump. Well, here come Knob Squad. This looks like a really bad position for these Wraith Lords. This rear one should definitely get killed right now by the Commandos. These guys still in melee. Oh, FuFu. Oh, FuFu. Where are the Grots? The Grots are decapping the natural. The Grots do decap the natural, but they really need to get out of there. They're just going to get killed by the Rangers at this point. Yeah, they're going to retreat. I mean, that's going to stop the bleed a little bit, but yeah, there's just the melee, just the military power right now of FuFu is way superior. There's nothing that Dingus can do. He's just throwing units in, trying to get the VPs, but he's not able to. I mean, he's banging on about the Grots being big brain, but that's not true. He didn't need the Grots. I don't think that would have left him with less than 18 VPs or anything. But there you go. Hope you enjoyed this sloppy Saturdays, folks. Remember, if you want more of, not quite this, but more high-level play, then you can check out the Patreon. There's about 30 casts on there that you get immediate access to just for paying for one $5 a month subscription. So for you boy Torpid this time, signing out.